We are proud individuals living for the city, but the flames couldn't go much higher. We find God and religions to paint us with salvation, but no one, nobody can give you the power, the right over love, over hate. Through this silent sky that's fast becoming our minds, over fear and into freedom. All that life left dripping down the walls of a dream that cannot breathe in its harsh reality. Mass confusion, spoon-fed to the blind, serves now to define a cold society from which we'll rise and over love, over hate. Through the silent sky that's fast becoming our mind, over fear and into freedom. You just got to hold on. You just got to hold on.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Let us use that power. Let us all unite.
And we'll rise over love, over hate. Through the silent sky that's fast becoming our minds, and over fear and into freedom, from which we'll
Love this song. Let's do this, guys. That just gets me fired up every time. Just like to sit back and watch the price rise up and listen to a little Paolo Nutini. See you guys in the studio in just a sec. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hxro Labs Live. Just a little tune I had to start us off with today. It's just a good day, right? If you guys have been here for the last little month, man, we got through it. Couple of months of shite price action. But we're back. The bulls are back in town. It feels good. It feels right. And there's an infrastructure bill hanging over the market, making everybody a little bit worried about their DeFi projects, all that stuff, especially if you're in the US. I'm here to tell you that it's going to be okay. Even if we get the worst outcome. And that's not to dismiss the seriousness of it. You know, you check out Jake Chervinsky on Twitter. He's probably the most in the know for this. I'm pretty sure he's actually down there in Washington right now, fighting the good fight, putting out all the juice in the threads, even handing out scripts and phone numbers for all the right senators to call. But as he pointed out today, even if we don't get the outcome that we want, right? If that other amendment comes in that basically will preclude mining and that, it's like they're making an attempt, but really they're not solving the issue. If that goes through in the Senate, it'll still go to the House, and they can appeal it along the way. They can try to fight and amend it along the way. It may not make it through the House. As he pointed out, they have more friends there than they do in the Senate. And even if it gets through the House, it won't go into effect probably until 2023. And all the way along through that, it can be appealed in courts and all this and that. So it's going to be okay. I am confident. I have faith, not necessarily in the U.S. government to get it right, but I have faith in humanity. I have faith in those who are taking action to get it done. I also have faith in money. Money talks, right? You want to know how all these big banks, oil companies, whatever, get those friendly regulations. Well, they just bribe the shit out of them through political campaign contributions. And we got old SBF put $5 million into Biden last year, which is, maybe a good look at getting a friendly outcome here. But for now, the White House seems to be supporting the amendment that we don't like. So we'll see. But let's take a look at the charts today. There is a lot of juice. And unfortunately, that plan I had to load up like little bags of a ton of like sort of poorly launched timing projects like in May and June that launched and did nothing but dump. A lot of those are up 3x off the bottom. And I only picked up a couple. So, in that sense, it's good. But I wanted to sprinkle like 20 little nibbles along those. And as I was going through the spreadsheet today, one of our research analysts at my fund was put this extensive spreadsheet together. And he, we're going through it today. I was like, damn, all these are up like 300%. Anyways, as we continue to go through that, we're going to make watch lists and all that. And I think there's, bottoms don't typically come in and just go. Like you get sort of like a check of the low first. So there's still going to be some opportunities there, and I'll be sure to put those out in our Discord. If you're not already in the free Discord, why not? It's free. If you have your own community you like to hang out with, that's cool. I get it. Too many is not always a good thing. But if you haven't found a home yet, and you're wondering, where can I go hang out where guys are trading, talking markets, we've got Messy's channel, we've got my channel. Not really there for copy trading, but there's definitely some really good ideas flowing through there, and the pit. It's where I found a lot of my trade ideas. So if you haven't already, check that out. And if you have, good to have you here on the stream. So happy Friday, guys. Good to see Paul Young winning in training, Xavier Bearwell, David Barrett, Spinoza, Jedi Hornet, the homies. Good to see you. Got 6 over there on Twitter watching on Periscope. Happy to have you guys here. And probably a couple of lurkers over here on TradingView. Hello, TradingView. Okay, guys, let's check out the charts today. As you can imagine, I am just a pig in shit right now, enjoying what the market has presented to us. Where's the chart? I got a bunch of charts here. Look at ETH. Now we're going to talk about market psychology today. I have a feeling that we just went through like a mini market cycle. And so we're going to talk about the psychology of the first rally after, that sort of disbelief phase. And for those of you who don't know, or you haven't already reviewed this, let's just get out the old Wall Street cheat sheet. Now this is kind of a meme. It gets overdone. Everyone likes to point to, where are we? But I'm telling you guys, this shit is real. This shit is it's phenomenal how well it works. See if I can just get the exact picture here. Yeah, there we go. So looking at this, having been through a couple of cycles myself now, I can tell you that this stuff is oh so real. And it doesn't matter how... Hey, good evening. Idio Derek, good to have you. And thank you on the congratulations, guys. I did get engaged last weekend after basically baiting out the entire thing on stream, not turning off the mic, which is hilarious because I never talk about important shit right after the stream, and I always kill the stream. And the one day, that I crossed those two things over, my girlfriend actually was watching, well, fiance at the time, my girlfriend was watching, but she turned it off 5 minutes before that little end piece because she saw we were wrapping up and she went to make dinner. Bless her soul. And so I ran upstairs and followed her around all night. I was like, oh, you didn't catch the end of the stream, did you? Good, because it was stupid. Don't look. And I was really paranoid. And then I thought secretly she did see it. Anyways, it's all good. She didn't. And we had a wonderful weekend away in Whistler, BC, up in a nice little resort in the mountains. And I popped the question, and she said yes. So that's exciting. Now, looking at this cheat sheet, why am I looking at this? Well, I think we just came out of this, like a mini version of this. And we're going to get the Bitcoin chart up. Let's get the Coinbase chart. I don't think I have any ink on there. Yeah. Well, I have a little bit of ink on there. Let's close that up. So tell me when you look at these two things, right? Because, you might say like, oh, we have to zoom out and, this, we definitely had a cycle through here and we had the depression and then we had the disbelief rally and then we had, but if you zoom in here, I think there was a mini one right here. And the reason I'm going to talk about it today is because I am experiencing little shades of this right here. Not that I think this is a sucker's rally. I'm super bullish on the rest of the year. But even the first chart that I showed on the stream today, why am I painting a rising wedge, right? Mentally, I look at that and I say, oh, I've captured some gains. In fact, I just hit portfolio all-time highs yesterday with the pumps that we had. And so I'm just euphoric. I'm like, oh, this is sick. I'm back. And so now I'm in this mental oh, I got to protect my gains mode. And so, of course, I drew this up a second ago. I was like, oh, watch out. We got a rising wedge here. And then I caught myself. I said, man, I'm smack dab in disbelief right now. I'm thrilled. I'm fired up. But I have to keep in mind, where's my head at? So we had this. It wasn't really a blow off top. If you look at it on the daily, it was more of a rolling top. But we had the complacency shoulder, right? And it was a beautiful one. I was tracking it on Twitter. I wasn't sitting there saying I'm selling everything. In fact, a lot of altcoins, KSM, Aave at the time, they were making new highs after 2-month consolidations and breaking out to new highs on volume. So I during this, which was range highs at the time, because I distinctly recall, and then I look back in pain down here going, why didn't I short that? At least put on a little hedge trade, whatever. It's because I wasn't even looking at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin was boring as fuck through here. It was all about these altcoins. But right here, we did have a very pretty, perfect complacency shoulder. And then we had anxiety, right? Coming down here, a little anxiety. And we had denial and panic and capitulation. Denial, panic, and capitulation. And you can even see the capitulation here on this chart, right? Extreme sell volume, tons of long leverages getting stopped out. Basically the entire pent up long leverage setup that was running through all of this, peaking probably through the highs. And then obviously they're levering up through here because they're thinking it's a bull market while they capitulated here, and we see it on the volume. And then what do we get? We get this anger. We get this slow, leaky, drippy death right down into here. I mean, this is picture perfect. And now we bounce up. And what is it? Well, it's kind of like depression sideways through here. And then we just get this bounce up and this move. And now we're just into this thing. And if you look on Twitter, which I'm sure some of you do, you can actually feel the disbelief, right? It's a lot of the people who sold through this that are still feeling pretty smug, that are saying, we're going to go lower. We could. I don't think we will. But we could. I'm positioned to go long. But there's this, suckers rally disbelief still kind of floating around. And even if people aren't shouting about it on Twitter, because you tend to only tweet and be active on those platforms, socials, in chats when your position is winning, right? So if you're long today, you're talking all about the breakout. If you were short today, you're probably licking your wounds and you're not on social media. You're like, fuck this, I'm going out. Or you're trying to reshort and revenge trade. So point being, you won't necessarily hear about people, but I see hints of it everywhere, right? Bullish tweets, and some guys are like, oh yeah, but it's just a squeeze. It's it's going to dump later. So that's what I'm seeing right now. I think that's what we just did. I mean, well, I know we just did because you could actually feel all of those emotions as we went through. Now the good news is that this cycles right into this. And you get this disbelief. We might even get one more little puke out as we go up. And that's why I put something out to that extent. Where was it? I think it was right here. Let's get that on here. This is kind of like the pain that I see coming for a lot of people in something like this. It doesn't have to look like this, but it's this kind of idea, right? So we may have that disbelief, suckers rally, final shakeout and go. And it's painful to watch because down here, and I'm using Ethereum because that's what I've been trading a lot this week. Right down here, a lot of people were making life decisions, right? I'm going to get out of things. I'm going to buy it lower, which is like standard for the course, right? It's par for the course. But it's painful because then they just, and then all through this, there's very little relief to this rally. When you get reversions like that, just like when we're moving up, you get this like spike down and then you just kind of continue on your way. Similar to after you've gone down, and then you just see this like sharp retracement, and it is tricky to get in because there is a sense of FOMO in the market. There's a sense of chasing the bad shorts and closing bad shorts. So I think this is going to be a pretty strong and steady move up. That's at least the way I'm positioned, and I'm not really rushing to cut anything. I tried a little short hedge today on the Bitcoin range highs because, like I said, I hit portfolio all-time highs yesterday, and all I could think was like, well, we're at range highs. Like, I kind of want to take one shot at protecting that here with a little hedge. Where is oh, it's this one. Yeah, it's the other Bitcoin on here. So it's FTX. Yeah. So let's look at the range. Like, why would I short here today? Why did I take a short hedge this morning? Well, we have the infrastructure bill kind of lingering over the market. I was going to bed last night and this happened. And I thought, okay, we're at range highs. We've had a really nice little rally. Altcoins could take over. Bitcoin could continue ranging. And so when it came up into here, actually just before I woke up, I filled some asks, stop loss above the 786 here. No big deal. And I'm protecting, I'd say 60% of my account. So if we dump, the gains I would make on that trade, they would cover the majority of any losses I'm suffering. The nice thing is, even if this dumps, Bitcoin pairs could rally and, so I may be making money on that short hedge, as well as, altcoins really get their permission to take off. In this case, obviously it did not dump. Now right around here, I just got a little nervous, this buy volume, like the bears just were nowhere to be found. They weren't waking up. Now, I didn't have the balls to completely close the hedge because I was really enjoying being up and I wanted to just kind of have that position on as an insurance policy. But I did end up closing like my stop loss from up here down to here during this kind of thing, right? So I avoided the worst of it, I think. Yeah, so it was right here. I put my stop loss down. As we did this, I said, if we go back up here, I want nothing to do with it. And I actually went out for like an hour and we got blasted. Okay, so I lose 1% of my account, but in doing so, it's almost like just paying insurance, right? Oh, and now we're off. Cool. All my spot holdings now enjoying themselves. That's actually how I use futures more than anything. And in many ways, that's what they're designed for, right? If I've got 40 altcoin positions right now, I don't want to rush to sell all those just in case we have like a nasty weekend. But I can put on that one trade and that covers me. And in this case, it's like I was saying, when I put the setup out there, I was like, I kind of hope we just wake up to continuation and I'll pay my 1% fee and we'll move on. So that's been the extent of my trading today as far as like futures or anything spicy goes. I do have a basket working on Binance. Let's go take a look at that because this is one of the first times I've done this and it's kind of interesting. Anything too doxing here? Let's see. Nah, not really. I'll put you guys on here. This is a small futures account that I set up, slightly like majorly reduced size. And, I put on some positions on cross leverage, 5X, across the account, just punting in like small percentages into each of these coins because I have a really good feeling about automated market making protocols right now. So obviously Uni would be the king of that. So when it started breaking out yesterday, I said, damn, that looks good. And if Uni goes, and then you look at Sushi, kind of the two kingpins, and they both started to break out on the daily yesterday. And I said, man, if they go, we're probably going to see Balancer go. They all kind of look the same, right? Refresh. KNC, another AMM, looking similar, but not there yet, right? Not there in the sense that like these should follow. And we've seen it before where they all kind of run after Uni and Sushi take off. We've got Serum, which I added a little to this morning. Obviously 1 inch is another one, lagging quite a bit behind, but probably going to catch the wave if it comes, which I think it will. Then CRV, I think, is less so, but yeah, it looked about the same. It's listed on CoinGecko's AMM list, so I found it. So this is a 6 to 8 week play. I'm just fucking with it. I'm trying it out. There is no liquidation price on it. I'm not using stop losses. Because I sized it the way I did, you know, I can really just add. And if the whole market's wrong and we just nuke, well, you know, this will probably eat shit. But the whole account is sized such that it's not like whatever, 3 or 4% loss, even if it somehow got licked. Right now, there's no lick prices on here because the positions are relatively small. If we continue this breakout, maybe tag this kind of moving average type thing. I'm not technically charting it on here, but for whatever reason, the TradingView charts don't load on my Binance. Probably have to clear my cookies, which is annoying. So I don't do that, but yeah, like retagging this, which we kind of did this morning. So anyways, when this breakout impulse finishes and we come touchdown, I will add to these, and eventually I'm sure I'll have some kind of lick price, which I would like to have it roughly 50% below current prices, and that way I'm, you know, safe enough. We'll see. So that's the other thing I'm working on. Let's just close that. Actually, no, I'll drag it over here. So that's the other... Hold up. So that's the other thing I'm working on. And so as you can see, you know, short hedge, 1%, like not my primary focus. There are so many coins that I've been accumulating through this dip. You know, Manifold is another one that I was talking about in my channel on the Discord. Putting like a full, basically 1-pager of why I think, you know, it's looking really good. Down here, it was like a 1%, or sorry, 1 million market cap. I mean, incredibly tiny, just launched at the wrong time. It's basically like Rook in the sense that it's a strong sort of MEV play. And I know it's like a meme now. It's like, Messi, Rook, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter. You know, I made some money on Rook trading it. Didn't bag hold it. I'm not butthurt about MEV. I still think that the concept is pretty brilliant. And these guys are working closely with Uniswap. I think the sushi chef is actually directly in with the team, coordinating how this will run. So it's kind of like, you know, why not? So this is one that I've been looking at. Shroom is one that Ro Jogan, if you're here in the chat today watching, thank you, brother, because you told me that Shroom looked really good down here, and I agreed with you. And then I picked some up. I think it's coming down a bit, but it's like it's still up 100% off that mention. NFTX, another banger that picked up through this trash right around 67 bucks. That's like, I don't even know what that is, 3 or 4x by now. So just holding that again. Didn't take crazy size on these. I literally like set and forget, because if you just go in with the right amount of size, you don't really have to worry. Is like, oh, is it going to be a bear market? It's like, cool, I'll average down. And I don't do that every time, just so you guys know. Historically, through previous cycles, I did try to play with too much size too soon and then would shake myself out of positions. So I'm taking a victory lap on this one. I feel really good about how we played this pullback here. And I finally understood this, you know, that the whole less is more, right? You can take smaller size on things when you're at these kinds of discount prices so that you can hold to them, so that you can add to them, and you don't really sweat the day-to-day swings. CVX is another one that the guys have been going on and on about in the Discord. Fozzie, big shout out to Fozzie. I think he's the one that kind of red-pilled me on this guy. And after this huge pump, which I think was Tetranode, picking up like 6 million of these in one scoop. At least that's what we're alleging. And I bought this dip down here around 321, and then I actually added to it at 360 yesterday because I just thought, damn, DeFi looks ready to fuck. So I've got some CVX staking. This one actually do have a much sizier bag, so I am watching this one a little closer, but I mean, come on. That looks good. If I inverted this chart, you'd be like, oh, it's going to be a bear market. Like, emotion aside, this thing just looks great. And I like the story. Still relatively small market cap given the connections with CRV, I think. Swaps on my short list here. Also looks like it could be waking up. A really nice DeFi play that I've talked about since last summer. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, yeah, you know me. I got to talk about ID right now. This thing, you know, I can't say this exact moment after 2x from the lows is where I'm rushing to add, but like this looks like it is the bottom. So if I can stomach anything between 20 to 40, I think I'm in the clear now. This chart, this project, let's get a little watermark on here. ID might be positioned even better than I thought it was, given everything we're hearing about. Music is fine. Is it a bit loud? Okay, I can turn that down a little bit. It's meant to be background, not like listen to it as much as just hear it. So hopefully that's a little bit better for you, brother. So, I mean, ID just looks so good. the chart in the sense that it's down. There's better looking charts, right? There's charts with a little more buy volume. There's charts with maybe more present narratives, like all those AMM plays. But the narrative here, and it is still my biggest bag, and the narrative here around, regulations, are they going to come in and basically say that you can't participate in DeFi because all of the POS stakers, all the LPs essentially have to report who they're interacting with, and how do you know who's trading on Uniswap in your pool? So it would essentially be a ban on US users for everything DeFi. But what if you could KYC your wallet and get ID to basically underpin the identification KYC of a certain DeFi project? Would that make them compliant? And I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. But I have to confirm that with Bob. Good old Bob Reed from Everest ID. He's doing an AMA today. I don't know if it's on right now or if it's on a little later, but I plan to watch it either live or after the fact. And then he's speaking at the Chainlink conference this weekend. But I think that these guys not only already just have a dope product and everything else, but I think with the narrative going on right now, that could be explosive as a hedge if it turns out that a company like this, a project like this, is going to be needed for US users to use DeFi. That would be sick. And now that's like a reach, right? That's speculative. But and then ILV. Yeah, ILV, well, I don't know, funny thing you mention it. Yeah, you saw it on here maybe, or you just happen to mention it. But this is one, now this thing's mooning. I actually picked up a pretty big bag yesterday. Now you guys know me, I don't really like to buy into a pump like this. But then I saw their game demo, and a buddy of mine who I trust and respect, basically, I don't know when he's been long from, but he basically was like, check out ILV. It's a gaming play. It's still like sub 250 mil market cap. And then so I picked up a pretty AP bag yesterday, and I actually cut some of it today at like, up $10 or something. Cause I was like, you know what, who am I to put in that size at this point in a rally? I don't care what it is. I just don't do it. But I still have about a quarter of the initial bag. Like it was a sizey bag. So I still have a bag of this, but it's just a reasonable bag. It's the kind of bag where if and when this does a little pullback, even like this, right? Even just a little something, give me like a couple of red candles at least before I go aping in, back to the size I initially had. But this thing looks good. I mean, it's just an uptrend. That's all it is. It's an uptrend. Trend is your friend. But where do I like to buy during an uptrend? On the dips. So I did still my hand and sell some back this morning, and it looks like it's taking off, which is good. That's just karma. Play it responsibly, it'll treat you well. So we'll see how this ages. They have a game launching in Q4, and I think that this kind of a trend could peak at that launch, right? That could be a really nice trade, regardless of the fact that I missed it. I mean, you see the volume coming in. This thing looks like it just wants more and more and more. So I'm not advocating anyone to go pick up anything I talk about, and certainly not at the highs like this. But I should point out that I did pick some up around 289. Sold some at like 302, 304, just to be a little more reasonable. And we'll just let it go. And if it dips, gives me a pump chaser zone, something like that in the next month, I'd like to be a little longer on it. And he's talking about 1,000 and 1,500 kind of price. I don't know how relevant. I don't know where he came up with that number, but that's the kind of ballpark he thinks this could be. And their game demo, if you check their Twitter that came out this morning, actually does look really sick. So all that to say, I have a reasonably small sized bag from around these levels, and yeah, it's hype of the month. And again, Axis Infinity's over $1 billion, maybe $2 billion. This thing's like 200 million. Like, yeah, I think there's a double in there, and if I can get a double, I can sell half, and it's free. Yeah, respect the ILV pump. Exactly, man. I know. I looked at it today. I was like, oh, did I just sell like 3/4? But again, I've got to follow the plan. I think long term, if I can be a slave to my process, I'll be a lot more successful than if I like catch every pump or try to. So that's kind of my thinking. Now, Gala is another one in the gaming space that also looks really sick. And there's nodes. You can run a node. So I actually bought the rights to a node yesterday. You have to kind of buy a license, cost a few ETH, and then I think like 4.1 ETH. So I picked one of those up, and apparently with just 8 hours of uptime a day, you get a point, and those points can then add up to, rewards and staking, like kind of node rewards and even NFT drops and cool little things. And so the entire network is run by these nodes. So what we have here, big coming out rally, sick move. Oops, so sad, missed it. That's from December to March. So it actually peaked early. And when the rest of the market started to roll over, it was already down here in the reload zone. I didn't even know about it then. I mean, textbook trade here, where you just get into the reload zone, make a higher high, make a higher low, break out, and then you don't even have to FOMO. You just wait to buy the retest and you go. So this thing had a beautiful setup. It is now kind of like stopped at the highs and rolling back in. So I've just been averaging into this. I bought 1, I bought 2, and I might fire like 3 or 4 bullets in this total. And, you know, with this kind of volume, although weirdly looks like a lot of sell volume, but this is also coin market cap data. So it's not like direct exchange data. So we'll see. Weirdly low liquidity on this thing, you know, only like 150,000 in liquidity. So not too sure, but I looked at the website. I was very impressed. I think it's the ex-founder of Zynga Games is the CEO, but either way, I was super impressed by it. So I've been doing a little shopping this week. By a little, I mean a lot. Because I just think, you know, I think everything looks really good. CVX Gala, what else do we talk about? PDEX, my buddy was telling me about today. Buddy who is just an absolute shark at spotting bottom reversals. So he mentioned this to me today. It was up 15% at the time when he mentioned it after this little breakout. And, you know, zooming into the hourly, I was like, oh, do I really want to like rush to buy it? You know, up here looks a little bit illiquid, as you can see here, but that's just one of those kind of things that hasn't done much and might wake up and get a rally. So I'm also keeping an eye on that. I don't know anything about this project. That would be purely a TA chart trade. Horde is another one. You know, all these things. Like this is off that list, right, that I was talking about, where you just buy some of these depressed assets. And you know, even the mean reversion trades are like multiple X. So keeping an eye on all of these. So let's check out the chat. CSPR, yeah. So, I mean, that's really what it is today, guys. We've talked a little bit about the infrastructure bill. I think that's the only real relevant news right now that's, you know, got everyone on the edge of their seat. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow that the decision made. Quick swap on your AMM list. Oh, and I picked up Keep Network. Let's talk about Keep because, God, it just looks good. Now, this is almost like the exact thing you want to see. Now, again, I don't know anything about the FA on this, so if there's something about it that's like, oh no, it's a shitty project, like you'll just have to, you know, like literally do your own research, because a lot of this stuff I'm talking about today, I'll tell you what I know, and then I'll tell you if I don't know. This one I don't know much about, except for that it's DeFi. I think it might be part of the Wi-Fi ecosystem, or that's maybe the other one that's got the 3 in it, the Keeper one. Either way, it's DeFi, and it's on the lows, and then look at this volume right here, right? And that's why a lot of traders, and when I was new, I didn't quite get it, but like, you've got to watch volume. Price can be very deceiving. And, you know, like as price is moving up and up and up, if the volume just completely dies down, that's like so sketch. You should really, you know, keep an eye on that. Probably just don't be longing highs if the volume is gone. And same to that is if you get price just coming down and volume starts to really ramp up and price hasn't moved yet. And that's what I'm seeing on Keep right now. That's probably the sexiest signal that I'm looking for across the board here, is depressed assets where there's buys coming in and price hasn't really moved yet. And this is maybe one of the better examples, or one of the best examples I've found. And basically still at the bottom range. If you want to just draw this up here, like, you know, it's pretty close to the lows. So even let's say like a mean reversion trade where we're just trying to like trade it up like a half take back, like a 65% gain, nothing crazy. But so this is another one that I picked some up this week. I did a lot of shopping this week. I just got really excited. EIP 1559 was coming. I figured this is going to be bullish, or it's going to be sell the news, but I was leaning bull because sell the news without getting a big rip roaring rally into the event, it's not very compelling as a, you know, as an idea. Now let's go look at the one you asked for, Sir Bear Whale, CSPR, Casper Network. I haven't looked at this one before. 137 mil market cap, 245 mil. Ooh, okay. Casper Network has already had some fun. Let's go see if there's any fun left. Like, where is it trading? Where's Casper trading? I guess I can just go check that. Not on, oh, probably just do it on TradingView. Yeah, let's go see. Maybe there's, oh, well, that looks totally different. Maybe we have to go look here. CoinMarketCap. Is this the one you're talking about? It's like all 4 charts that we just searched look different. I'm not saying... Okay, OKX. This is weird. Casper. OKX. Tether. Casper Labs? That's different. God, there's a lot of Caspers. Friendly Ghost. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're getting the same image though, right? Where it's... what? Oops. Do that like 10 times a stream. In fact, you guys should probably do a drinking game since it's Friday, where every time I do this, when I start off on the chart thinking I'm not on the draw tool, have a drink. I'll get you nice and drunk. Big buy volume coming in at the lows. Really nice to see here, right? That's what you want to see. You want to see a big downtrend. No, where are the buyers? Oh, boom. There's the big pocketed smart money mofos putting a bottom in the market. Often is the case when you look back at how tops and bottoms come in, is on a blast of volume, usually in the other direction. And so right here, you know, through this reload zone, you don't even have to check, you just already know it is, then that's where you can start to get shoppy. And look at that, sweet spot nuke, let's go. So yeah, this one looks great. It's kind of been missed for this breakout, as far as like there's so many coins that look the same but haven't done the breakout yet. I'd rather find those. But if it comes into this... If it comes into, you know, the most recent high came on higher volume, so it's probably safe as far as like it's going to go higher eventually. So through this, wow, it's way out here. Through this pullback, you know, we might be into pump chaser season. It's not like full FU greed market yet, but it is kind of mean reversion bull market. So point being, if you've had a really long, sharp downtrend, the reversion back up can be quick and aggressive, and it almost doesn't match the phase of the market, like fear and greed wise, right? You would expect to see like really strong no dip rallies in a full FU like extreme greed market, but when you're reverting a nasty down move, those half takebacks can they can come in hot and heavy in the absence of extreme greed. So just because it's like an aftershock or whatever, I don't know, getting a little conjecture-y over here, but let's see what that would look like here. And you guys can do this on most charts right now. The TA I do is consistent. It's not rocket science. You know, it's a lot of fibs. It's a lot of levels. It's a lot of elasticity of the market. And right now we'd be looking at 20 cents for this guy just to get that, like, take back half the rally and half the move. And a lot of the time that 50% level ends up with some kind of, you know, volume traded there or support resistance. So yeah, this looks really good. If I knew more about it, okay, you know what? Actually, I take it back. I'm gonna put this on my list. Looks like it has some perps. CSPR. It's a good candidate for the pump chaser zone. I'd be curious to see what it looks like next week when we get back on the stream. Maybe we'll make a note to check it and maybe get that 4-hour there. And if it does come in and tag this level and go, that would basically be support resistance. It's already kind of checked the level, so we'll see. But yeah. You know, something like boop, 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 boop. We'll see what happens if and when it gets there. But I could see something like that if you want to trade this. But again, I think what I'm seeing is there's just so many things moving that I don't know that I need to do any chasing right now. Uni looking hot. And again, oh, there you go. Have a drink. Fuck. Uni looking hot. Like, ugh, look at that. You know, again, for those of you who are in this little disbelief phase that we talked about at the start of the show, careful with that stuff, right? You know, play safe, manage risk, but understand where you're at, understand where we're at. And I am pretty sure, as far as my own self-reflection goes, that I am here. I'm at least in danger of being here. And I did this a lot. Disbelief, you know, cutting winners a little early in that. I did that a lot through 2020, right? Where is that? God, go all the way back here. Where was it? Where was the big one? Yeah, this one, I misplayed this. And I had to reflect on that after. This was literally that, right? It was almost like, okay, you know, we're coming out, oh, this is sucker's rally, it's going to end like the rest. And I distinctly recall through here being very unsure what was happening. And then even after we got this breakout here, and even after this, like this was short reload zone, even after this, like I had a really hard time seeing Bitcoin at 20K. I remember kind of laughing at the futures contracts and the options that were trading up at 20K. You know, Hxro had Tixwix up at 20K for December, and I just remember thinking, that's so stupid. Well, we went to 20K in November, and then we went to 65K. So, I mean, I was holding things, I was long, and I made some good money, but I definitely was not self-aware of this. This was I guess it was really the first time I'd gone through that part of the cycle. I've been through a lot of mini cycles as I see it, like we just have been. But the major cycle, 2017, 2018, 2019 had a bit of a disbelief rally as well. But that shit's real. So all that to say, if you're struggling with that, invert your chart and then tell me that this doesn't look bearish as fuck. If you're feeling really bearish, you're having a hard time wrapping your head around the reality of the market, which is that buy volume is flowing in. This, for now, is over, and now we need to take back part of that rally, at the very least, if not rally onto new highs. Let's hope. And so half the rally and half the time is often what I look for, and that, we're actually going to front run that, because the half time is probably out here somewhere. So this is a fast and furious market, guys, and it is moving. I don't think Uni is a great buy right here. I aped into it in that futures play here, just as it was poking its head out. And the reason I took that small size is because if I zoomed in on the hourly, right, like that, you don't want to lever up into the hourly breakthrough, because this will kill you. In fact, this probably did kill a few futures traders that were over leveraged. At least stop them out, if not liquidated. So I went in 5x long on a whole basket of shit with cross leverage, in the sense that there was no liquidation price. All I was looking to do is add it on those dips. And that's what I have done to a few of them, and what I'll do if we get another big dip. But Uni looks great. And I'm not actually that excited about Uni. I think it's awesome. It's probably the biggest one. Grayscale, for some reason, has it as 50% of their DeFi basket allocation, while everything else is like 6 and 8. Maybe they know something. But that's not the sexiest trade here. This is the leader. The sexiest trade comes when I have a pretty good lean in the market on what's coming, right? Like, nothing's broken out yet. Oh, maybe something will break out. And then once Uni breaks out and then Sushi follows, I'm like, fuck, AMMs are running, DEXs are running with much more size, conviction, and confidence. Now I can ape into things like 1inch, which I wouldn't even say I'm like, oh, I'm super bullish on 1inch. The market clearly not as bullish on 1inch. It's, of all of them, it's the only one that's not up to some kind of breakout resistance. But I can long it, because no matter what it is, it's going to rally most likely after Uni and Sushi. KNC, went through these a little earlier also, right? All poking out, looking the same. And so, what was another one? One that I can't long on that basket because they don't have it on Binance Futures is BNT. Also looks great. So you guys see what I'm saying? Like, not only do all these charts look very similar on the way down, but they all, once one or two start to run, because they're a family, and that's just the way humans work and the way markets will tend to react. Now, I got to give myself a shout out. I didn't even plan this, but check out this squiggly. I was explaining this on stream a few weeks ago, sort of like how bottoms come in, and look at this shit. It's just like, it's followed my squiggly almost to a T so far. So do we break out here, or do we need one more of those to really consolidate and shit everyone's pants? I don't know. This volume is pretty promising. And then what we've just said, what we're seeing on Uni and all that stuff, I think, God, this squiggly. This is why I draw the squigglies, because they're fun. If you miss, you're like, oh, well, I'm not a fortune teller. And then when they hit, they're like, ooh, look at that. That was fun. But it's not like, ooh, look at me, I'm right. That's just stupid. Because you can't really trade off them, right? Man, they're fun. CRV is another one. It was on this list. If you're wondering, there's a really easy way to find this stuff. Just say, like, go to Uni. Go to Uni on CoinGecko. They have this really nice tagging system. If you didn't know about it, now you will. It's right here. And then you click Automated Market Maker. And then in order, oh, Cake. Shit, Cake was another one. I don't have it on my list. I'd like to get it in there. Let's go see how broken out it is. Perp obviously had an explosive week. Did that lead? Right? I don't think it's in people's minds as part of this basket yet, but it certainly is now. Radium's another one that I've been adding to on my sand basket. And Cream looks ready to fuck. Let's go take a look at that. Messi mentioned it on stream or on our voice chat yesterday, and it just looks good. So there's a lot here. Quick, not in that list for me. Not sure why. I kind of took a quick look at it. quick. And it's just a little different. You know, I'm sure it's a decent, you know, I'm sure there's some juice here. But I don't know. Didn't make my list. I was mostly focused on Binance futures for this, and it's not on there. That's one good reason. But yeah, Quick looks pretty good down here, to be honest. Remember back here, we were picking it up, and then this candle of volume came out, and at first it was a little green, and it looked like it was going to explode. It was May 19th. Life was good. And I cut the shit out of my Quick bag because, you know, once you get this consolidation and it doesn't start to look good, dumps down here, you know, I don't know where I got out, but it was somewhere on one of these bounces, and I was just like, sorry, try again next time. At I think it was around $1,000. So like, you know, you can save a little money. Can we get it back now? Are the buyers coming back into the market? It looks like they are. And we just talked about this like 8 minutes ago, right? You see the downtrend, it looks gross, and then some big buyer comes in and says, fuck you, it's the bottom, I'm putting in support. And once you buy this amount of an asset, you tend to want to protect your position. Now, I can't protect my position. I don't have the money to do that. Whales can just come and shit on me and take me out. So what you want to do is get long with someone who can protect their position. And how do you spot them? Volume. Wait for the volume. So this actually does look good. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I could potentially just, I don't know, spot buy this. I got a little bit of funds on Uniswap or whatever. But yeah, it's not on Binance Futures, which is where the crux of this setup was for me. So Curve looks good. Another bag, I think Fozzie, I already gave you the shout out for this, but yeah, CVX Curve, joint at the hips. I mean, look at this chart, bro. I know there's inflation here. I don't know how much. So don't shoot the messenger if it dumps to hell and you bought some because of me, because I didn't tell you to buy it. But I did through here and through here. And then it's like, you know, even just, doesn't even have to be a bull market, even just a little retrace to the upside. Because yes, retracements happen down and up. What does that look like? You know, can I get a double in there? Can I double my money, take out half, and then sit staking the rest risk-free for my entire life? Taking out little peanuts here and there of yield? I hope so. That's my plan. And once I get that money out, this is the nice thing about how bottoms form, is that often you get stuff like this, where it'll be like, oh, look at that retracement. It's a bull market. Oh, no. Complacency shoulder. And then we go through like its own mini, you know, and then it does it again. And then you zoom out. And in many cases for coins, you can just see this happen again and again and again. And then someday it might actually go absolutely nuts. And so if I'm selling half on a double here, it gives me a chance to buy the reload zone here, if it comes. And that's the key, right? I have to not care. I have to not care if it comes. You know, if I sell half on a double here and it just rallies, cool. I have a free position. I didn't sell my whole bag. If it does let me reload, cool. I just doubled my position and it was basically risk-free, right? And then this and then this and then you play that game and someday it does break out. And how many cars did I get loaded up, right? If I bought my second car here and then I sell half on a double, now I have a double free position, right? And so that's kind of how I would want to play this. And if that pretty much goes for all of these, unless they're like a futures thing where I'm just settling in USDT and whatever. But take a look at Sys. We're gonna go pick on Syscoin, because Syscoin is a great example of this through here, right? Syscoin did this for an entire year. And so if you were playing that game through this, I don't know if it was 100% moves. No, it wasn't even close. It was like a 40% range. So not as sexy, but the idea sort of similar in the sense that you can be like picking up after breakout, retest, reload zone. You know, did you get any sells off through here? Probably not. But mid 2020, all those doubles got filled. People can sell half, reload down here, you know, sell half. Oh, and then it really runs. And then again, right? So, you know, okay, you got sell, still have a free position, but it gets wrecked. But it's okay because it's free now. Buy the reload zone, right? And this kind of thing, like that's trading. And if you really zoom out and look at this thing, let's go to the weekly. Like, look at where we're playing right now. So how many free positions? And I know guys who are doing this. That's basically the way it goes at TRI. And they're just playing that game. And then how many free positions are they going to be riding if and when this guy really runs versus Bitcoin? Because what I see is a huge downtrend and then sort of like accumulation looking volume on Syscoin. So yeah, it took 2-3 years. It's boring. that's like one of 150 other assets they're just doing the same thing to. But you end up with all this like free juice down here, and then if it ever really runs, you're just sitting so pretty. So pretty. So yeah, forgot my Binance question. What? Binance US CEO Brian Brooks has resigned. Oh, is that bearish? Is that bearish, or is that just more of the same writing on the same wall? Can we get an FTT update? Yeah. Sorry guys, I got into a long rant there about rolling profits into, new positions and all that stuff. Binance coins, any good? VFox, yeah, let's take a look. Oh, Casper. Sorry, I messed that up. Okay, we're going to go check out FTT. Catching up in the chat here. Let's go see FTT USDT. Oh, so good. So good. It's rallying. Love that. And same thing here, guys, where you have the drawdown feels gross. Just chill, wait for that. Oh my God, there's buyers stepping in. Are they going to protect their position? Probably. Was it Alameda? Pretty much. They said as much on Twitter. They basically said, oh yeah, we didn't think we were going to get it this cheap. We're going to buy the shit out of it. That day it pumped. Was it them? Was it reaction to them saying that? Who knows? Came down here, and then there was some other news that came out here. I forget what it was. Maybe Tom Brady or MLB. I don't know. Some other big thing. They're doing so many big things right now. So is there any way, and this is what I was saying through here, like, is there any way that FTT is just not worth more, like at least double sometime in the next year or two? And then do I have to think much past that? Can I just be like, that's enough for me? So bullish on FTT. And if this thing continues to run, I'm not even thinking about hedging out of it or anything like that until we're up into this short reload zone, especially now that we've moved through this key resistance, kind of moved through it, tested it, and now we're moving. You want to see strong buy volume. So if we don't get new highs in volume as these new highs continue to come in, that's even more reason to consider hedging out around here. But I have a bag of this staked on FTX that I'm just not going to touch. I didn't touch it up here, didn't touch it here, added to it here. Like, I'm just, it's an investment. But is there a trade coming up? Late to long, early to short kind of vibes right now on this guy, if that's your flavor. I know everyone's like, well, if you're bullish on it, don't short it. I'm not rushing to short it. I'm just saying if I wanted to, I need location first, and we're just not there. But yeah, if we continue moving up and this volume just stays abysmal, it might be an idea there. But is there shittier coins that I could get a lot more conviction shorting when they're overpriced? Yes. FTT, I think, is very underpriced. It's not the same as having equity. Legally, he has to say that. It's not a security. But it is essentially the same as having equity in the sense that if they do well and they continue to grow, they're going to continue to burn FTT each quarter or whatever it is, month or quarter. And that's a percentage of revenues or profits. I don't know the exact one. And they burn it. And so the supply is decreasing with their success. So if you're holding it and you want to trade on FTX, you want to save money, right? We're here to make money. Traders want to trade. And this is why I was so bullish on BNB back in September 2017. When they launched, it was the first of its kind. I said, holy shit. There's one thing all traders can agree on is that they want to make money. So if you're trading on that exchange, why would you not hold, buy, and there's a friggin' little fly in my face. Hold, buy, and then use that to pay your fees. You're telling me the one instant tax on all my trades, which is in the form of fees, I can get 50% off. All I have to do is buy your coin and hold it and use that. It's a no-brainer. So everyone on Binance should be, and probably is, buying BNB to use to pay fees. Very similar on FTT, except for you don't actually pay with the FTT. You just stake some and then you get those fee discounts without having to spend it. So I actually like it even better. But it doesn't power its own smart chain like BNB does. So, there's slight differences. But I do see it as an equity play in FTX, even though it's technically not. It will do well if FTX does well. And it will size up if FTX sizes up, and they're sizing the fuck up right now. That's why it was so weird down here. It just didn't make sense, other than that the whole market was kind of shitty. None of it made sense, right? You get El Salvador, it's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's a legal tender. Like, what? If that happened 3 years ago, anytime basically ever, it would have been like, oh my God, we made it. There's a country, even if it's the highest murder rate in the world, even if it's the smallest country, it doesn't matter. It's a fucking country. And then Bitcoin's just like, I don't care. I'm going to move sideways. It was so irrational, except for then you check on-chain metrics and you could see that the big wallets were accumulating. You're like, And then you see like, well, who the hell is selling? And it was people that had just bought recently that were losing money. That's just people. That's, can't tell a friend, can't convince a friend to buy anything at the lows, and then they all call you 6 months later at the highs and say, can I buy now? Is it too late? That's human nature. So whole thing was irrational. Loading up through here was the play. We did a lot of it here on Hxro Labs, so I feel good about it. And like I said, we're not at the highs yet. But I was very happy to see yesterday a portfolio hitting a new all-time high. So, and that's if you can do it right. Never done it like that before through a dip. Trading can be good. It can be really nice outside of just holding. But what do you most people that want to be a trader, they sized up here, puked their bags here, and now they're stuck trying to FOMO back in, or they're going to buy this high up here, and then we're going to dip out. So it's not easy. One of the things I like to do on the stream, one of the reasons I love this stream, is just to really help people understand, how to not fuck that up, finding clear levels, managing risks so you don't have to make tough decisions. Anyone who had small, sizable, like reasonable positions through this probably was fine. Clear-headed. Oh, look, big dip. I can add some. But we don't do that, do we, right? Most people, without the proper plan in place, they just size up at the worst times and size down at the worst times. So all that to say, FTT looks great. Let's move on. If FTT does well, where else should we be looking? Solana broke out. Mentioned it on Twitter briefly, basically just saying, this looks good, broke the trend line, retested it, and moved. I did get a day trade in that day on my 10K to 100K futures account that I'm doing a little challenge for myself on. I think that's up to like 16K right now. So that's a decent, 60% up, not sustainable, 60% month over month. So I got to enjoy the run while I'm on it. But I'm going to get that thing to 100K hopefully before I blow it out. And one of those trades the other day was on Solana at like 34 to 36. Now I look back, I'm like, why didn't I close it? Well, because it was on a smaller time frame. And on that time frame, I was comfortable just closing it up. I think it was like, oh yeah, it was this. So it was, it was a little trend line break, and I thought, okay, I'm going to long Solana here, and then dipped, and then I think I closed it up here, low 36s, and didn't reload it. But that's okay. It's like, it's a trade. It's closed. Going on to the next one, I don't have to watch and say I need to be long just because it's going longer. And that's actually an old mistake of mine that I don't do anymore, where I would get into a short time frame trade. I would hit like a really nice P&L. I mean, the whole fucking account went up 30%. Close it. Capture that. Lock that in. Even though when I zoom out on the daily, I think to myself, damn, this is a really nice breakout. And that's why I like the Sandbasket DCA plan that I've also now mixed in to my shit, because, I was buying Solana through this. Not a ton. I think I picked some up pretty gross lows and then a little bit the other day. So I've got a nice Solana bag. It's enough. And I'm going to keep adding to it if we continue some of that up, down, chop around shit that I was talking about earlier. And that way I don't have to FOMO into this thing, because I definitely want some exposure to Solana. In fact, I would like a lot. But timing it is the tricky part. So that was a nice breakout. And if that does well, right? If FTT does well, Solana will do well. If Solana does well, what else will do well? Probably the whole Sandbasket. So Ray coming off of the lows up through this kind of looks like, this is another one from that AMM list. And it kind of looks a lot like those AMMs coming through this key level right now, as KNC is, as Serum actually kind of front ran Solana last week. It was a little strange to see, but I liked it. So same thing, right? This low candle body close actually marked a really nice resistance level that a lot of these coins have just broken through. And so just like when key support breaks, you want to think about get the fuck out. Well, key resistance breaks, you want to think about get the fuck in. That's what I've been doing with Serum. Let's go see, the 50% retrace, also marked this. How bullish are we going to be, right? Are we going to do some 50s and then pull back and then go 50s and that's it? Or are we going to get right up into these short reload zones? It's going to be a play it by ear type of thing. We'll have to see how the month goes. We'll have to see how this infrastructure bill passes and how the market reacts to it. However, again, no matter what happens there, long-term, mid-term even, I don't think it's a big deal, but I guarantee you there will be a bad knee-jerk reaction in this market if that does not go crypto's way. And that's today or tomorrow. So just especially this weekend and with that looming, and it sounds like the White House is supporting the bad one, and that gives you a bit of a hint of where it might end up. I would say, especially given that, like, careful like doing anything crazy after today, because these charts look great. But that infrastructure bill comes, shits on the parade. It could be like this. It could be, it could be that. And this is September, right? So keep that in mind. And that would be a really nice setup, right? That's into the reload zone, and that's normal. That's totally normal. It's like breaking out on the daily, confirming that bullish reversal, get everyone nice and bullish, and then crush their spirits one last time into the reload zone when everyone should have been waiting to buy, but in fact was selling and stopping out and wrecking themselves, and then we go. So I could very easily see something like this happening if the infrastructure bill goes out. It's not going to be the death of crypto at all. It's going to really hurt innovation in the US, and it's going to hurt US users and operators. And then they're going to appeal it. It's going to go to the House. Maybe they don't even get it through. So, and it's not even going live until 2023. So can we have a bull market between now and then? Hell yeah. But will there be a knee-jerk reaction? Almost guaranteed. So let's see. All that to say, playing it by ear, where I'm going to take profit on these AMM plays. If we're ripping up into here and it gets really weak around the 50, I might skim my first profit right up here. It's hard to see the 50 on the reload zone, but it's here. And generally speaking, though, it's like a reload zone to reload zone type play. And I could see, this coming, whatever. We're going to play that level if it comes. But then, ultimately getting up into here, having a little tiredness, and then finding our real low, whether that's like a retest of this, and then ideally have a nice fun time after that too. So that's kind of like what I visualize could happen here over the next few months. And then in the much more short term, I mean, look at this. This is July 21st. That's like, I don't know, whatever that is, 18 green candles out of 20. So not only is the infra bill sitting there looking shitty right now, we're due for this. So if anything, I'm a little bit cautiously optimistic for the short term here. And that's Serum. So again, FTT goes well, Solana's going to do well, Serum's going to do well, Oxy, like all of these, what is this? Yeah, look, apparently I was saying waiting for this would be even better than what I was doing, which was DCAing down at the lows here. Fully aware that the price at IDO was 12 cents and that I could get rinsed all the way down there if they decide to take it there, and they still might. So waiting for that proper reversal is probably best. Still not getting that big smack of buy volume. In fact, this looked like it was trying to break out. Let's zoom in, see if that was a buy or a sell. No, it looked like it was a sell. So there's still some distribution happening here on Oxy, which is not too surprising given the nature of that IDO and that price and the floor and all that. Maps is looking great. Is this the right Maps? I'm like, holy shit, is this the right one? It's doing too well. Same kind of thing, right? Pure depression and puke averaging in, and now it's looking good. This is another Solana play. So, Serum, FTT, Sol, if they all start to run, expect everyone to just look for shit that looks like it, which is those. FIDA is another one that I know has been doing well. All in the same basket. Damn. Look at that. This is an AMM 2 as far as I know. So I should have maybe more aggressively DCA'd this after I decided AMMs were about to be hot. At least that's what I'm going to trade. And you have support here. Support. Lost it. Kind of poked through, but rejected. Poked through, retested. So FIDA looks great too. And there was a lot of volume traded up here. So we could expect the price to explore that again. But again, I'm not taking any new positions today, given the infrastructure bill. There's just no reason to, And the nice thing is, not to beat a dead horse, but you guys are going to be through more cycles. You just will. If you're trading this shit, no matter if it's up and to the right for the rest of your life, it's still going to have these shitty little down cycles. And there's two parts to this. To be on side with the market, you have to pay yourself during mania. You just have to. And it's the hardest thing to do. And what you'll end up doing if you're anything like me is you'll end up paying yourself, just say, oh, I bought random bag X here. You'll end up paying yourself here. You might even end up paying yourself, there instead, right? Like you didn't sell here, but you end up selling the dip. Okay, cool. But you're paying yourself. You're making that profit. And then through this, and then here. And then you're regretting ever paying yourself here because look how far it went. And then you're regretting paying yourself there because look how far it went. But you have to stay disciplined and pay yourself again. Because eventually, especially in crypto, most of these things come in and do these little reload zone tags. And you can't be on side of this move if you weren't on side on this move, paying yourself, getting that dry powder up so that you have the balls, the conviction, and the ability to average into these dips instead of sort of sitting there being like, oh, I'm so screwed. And during this, what is everyone saying, right? We're going to go way down. And so you're saying, not again. I don't want to get ripped again. I need that cash so I can buy that dip. And it never comes. And that's the thinking you have down here if you're super wrecked. So I don't know why I'm ranting on that again. Basically, what I was trying to say is this is a tough spot to be long. Getting long through here was important on coins that you think might do well. It gets harder and harder the further up we go here because inevitably there will be a squeezer and it's going to shit all over everybody who was just like, la, 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 bull market's back, la, la, la. Nope, sorry, kid. You were late to that move too. And then we'll, then we see what's up. So with the infrastructure bill coming and that whole thing I just ranted about, I'm being, I'm not adding into anything today. Certainly not today. Let's see how that bill goes. Let's see what Sunday, Monday, and then if there's some nice dips, add to it. If not, ride the positions and we'll go from there. I'm going to look back at the chat now. Got a long rant there. I'm going to hit my vape too, get all juiced up. Let's go. Atari. Okay, let's check out Atari. Yeah, it's Binance was dumping FTT. Well, somebody was using Binance to dump FTT. Maybe they were to, maybe they did it themselves. But yeah, I spotted this on Twitter. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I mean, is that a capitulation? They also just did a bunch of deals, right? So if they bought Blockfolio, there's a good chance they paid a lot of that in FTT. And so maybe FTT or maybe Blockfolio is liquidating $200 million worth, right? And they were using a bot. They turned the bot on. They basically were the bottom. And then, the whole world said, actually, we're really bullish. Go fuck yourself. So I don't know. Let's go see the news about the Binance CEO. Let's go pull it up. Ooh, routers. Good old routers here with the bearish news always. I can always count on them. This looks like it's hot off the press, I guess. You guys are mentioning it here 8 minutes ago. Holy shit. The chief CEO, the chief executive officer, Brian Brooks, said on Friday he's resigned from the role, letting you all know that I've resigned. Despite differences over strategic direction, I wish my former colleagues much success. Yeah, so it sounds like just an in-house fighting, exciting new things to come. That's about it. Yeah. So he's stepping down. Is that because he just was like, fuck, I don't like working with the people I'm working with like any other job? Or is it because he sees shit coming and he doesn't want to be in front of it? Who knows? I mean, one thing we do know is Binance has been operating outside of many jurisdictional laws for a long time. The thing is, they were operating, where were they operating? Who does have say over what they're doing? Well, they can't really control Binance if they're ghost in the HQ department. But they can control their users and who they're allowed, especially when Binance got really cheeky this year and started having all these banking options. I noticed all their fiat on and off ramps heating up, and I thought that was weird because, where the hell are they? Who are these banks? And then, of course, that got kiboshed, and now there's no cash on and off ramps there, and they're shutting everything down to be more compliant, which to me is a good sign. You never know. Brian Brooks might have got pushed out because he was like, not playing ball with what their new direction is going to be. You just don't know. How bearish is that? Not that bearish. I'm sure someone with a short will tell you that it's the end of the world, but Binance Coin does not seem to care one bit. Besides, the meme for the longest time was that nobody even uses Binance US. But I could see with everything that's happening in the US in particular, why the CEO of Binance US would not want to really work there anymore. Guy's probably got some clout, probably wants to go work somewhere where he's not going to have to do this, passionate fight. Let's go look at BNB Bitcoin. Oh, BNB Bitcoin not enjoying the Bitcoin rally this morning. So that's the other thing you got to consider, right? I always flip-flop. I'll be honest. I flip-flop between trying to accumulate Bitcoin and trying to accumulate USD. I think I tend to fall back on just protecting my USD. But there's something to be said for looking after your Bitcoin stack, right? If Bitcoin's in a rip-roaring bull, I don't want to be spread out in 50 altcoins, where one day I have an equivalent of 2 Bitcoin and the next day I have an equivalent of 1.7 Bitcoin, even though I have more USD. I'd rather just ride the fastest horse. So in that sense, let's check out Bitcoin dominance. Hasn't really moved today, although it is starting to poke up. Now, generally, you guys know that I've been bullish on Bitcoin dominance. I've admittedly flip-flopped because of what I'm seeing on the DeFi perp. And, EIP 1559 fever did catch me a bit. I realized I was grossly underexposed to Ethereum. Way too much Bitcoin proportion. So I did flip some of that around in the last week or two. This is tricky to call. On the weekly, it is a weekly reversal. It's a bullish reversal. That's just what it is. Whether it will follow through is another question. But if it could just stay in this consolidation range indefinitely for whatever, a month or two, that's going to be really good news for us because of things like this. Let's go check. Oh, no. DeFi P. Good old DeFi P. Look at that. Oh, my God. This thing wasted no time. So what we had in this week's newsletter, which you guys can read at herolabs.io and sign up for free with your email address, join our mailing list. Of all the shitty little companies that try to get you to sign up to their thing and you just want to buy a hot dog and now you got to give them your email, I'd like to think that our free newsletter is worth an email. Make up a fake one. Who cares? Whatever. Sign up. Anyways, I put this out on Tuesdays usually. Last couple weeks, Wednesdays. Summer doldrums, trying it out, but I actually think Wednesdays or Tuesdays are better. So we'll be back to Tuesdays starting this Tuesday, a couple days ago. And this was a cheeky signal, right? You have this downtrend. It was like, okay, well, we're going to consolidate. Let's just wait. Oh, look at that. Higher low. Oh, shit. Higher high. Ah. And this is ultimately where I want to hunt longs after confirmation of bullish market structure. I'm not actually trading the DeFi perp. So this was more like me saying, if this pulls into here, that's DeFi projects shitting the bed, then I want to get really bullish. As you guys can see from today, I didn't really wait for that, but now it's really moving. So like that's the other way it could go. And now we're up to this weekly resistance. I would expect we stop there for a little bit, maybe have a little cool down, who knows, but this thing looks good. So given what we're seeing on the DeFi perp and how bullish DeFi is, in general, like just as a thing in the world, what we've talked about ad nauseum over the last year, right? If this thing's ready to wake up, it might wake up hard, morning wood style. So keep an eye out on DeFi projects. Somebody mentioned Badger in the chat. Let's go have a look. I mentioned it on Twitter. I didn't buy it. I know. I do it all the time. But oh, I have a drink. Fuck, I did the draw thing. Have a drink. Let's go see Badger. Let's go take a look at Badger. Here we are. Oh shit. Yeah, Badger looks good. So this was kind of my take on Badger. I think my Twitter post was basically that, don't marry your bags. There's a lot of people who married their bags, and if they did, they didn't make any money, and they probably divorced them somewhere down here through the depression, which lasted really since like May 22nd. It was already at the lows. So imagine you've been holding this bag and it's dumping to hell, and suddenly it's not the future of finance, at least it doesn't feel like it. And then this was the top of the market. And so now for like 3 months, you are watching your dead shit bag basically leak as the whole rest of the market's dumping, which is presumably some of your other bags. So I think it would be very hard for anyone to have held on to that through here. So we cleaned up the chart. That's good. That's how it goes. And that's basically the extent of my post on Twitter. It wasn't like a call to arms to go buy, but man, it should have been for me because I didn't pick any up yet. But I think I still might be able to. This is interesting. Monstrous volume on this bar, and it hasn't really moved. Don't know what that's all about. But it's a coin market cap chart. This was the trade if I had to make it and if I was watching, where you just come up, flip that level, and like, oh baby, load up on these launch pads. If you think there's a bull coming, and then you see this kind of thing happen where there's just this like cheeky little reversal and then it comes and just sits on that flip level. It's probably the nicest thing to see. And on that note, last night, I think I saw that on Cream. Yeah. So look at Cream here. Let's go see if we can find this. Well, let's see if we can force this trade. But no, look, Cream basically sucked since February. Like, talk about a missed opportunity. This thing did not do anything during the bull run. It was like, oh, big rally through Feb. I think this is like when Wu-Tang Clan came out with a video about Cream, and it was like all cheesy and chill. Picked some up, traded, did not hold it through this, sadly, but I did trade some down here, made a few bucks, like nothing crazy. Missed it, and then just have been ignoring it. But then Messi mentioned it the other day, or last night on Twitter Spaces, and I was like, damn, let's go look at Cream. And what you've got here is just this key level, right? It was support here, for whatever reason, broke through, and it never regained it. After like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tests, it never regained it until last week. So can we say that there is some pent-up buying energy here, that there's probably not too many sellers left? That would be my guess. And so here we are, potentially coming in to sit on this launch pad at dollars, 170. So I'd have to go look at what they're doing. If they have something coming up, maybe they have some pivot, some new release. That might be the anticipation of that. But this looks good. This just looks really good. That's all it is. Let's go see what the Chaos PRZ says. Oh, damn. So if we grab that energy, low to high, mid, you could probably draw those a few ways, but I'd like to just do the most obvious levels and just see how that goes. Like, looking at 3x. And that's probably over the period of months, but that's what I'm seeing right now on Cream. That just these SR flips like this, man, it's, don't be shocked if we look back and I'm telling you about how I didn't buy it, but oh my God, I should have. So I actually might go pick some up, but I've done a lot of aping this week, as I said, and the whole infra bill, and this is DeFi. I don't know. We'll see. God, if tomorrow comes out and it's like, the Toomey, the Toomey amendment went through and it's passed and it's all good, like, oof, let the lid off this thing. I think there is a sense of fear. Despite the upside we're seeing, I think there is still some sort of breaks, I guess you could say, on the market. I mean, it doesn't look like it, right? But if that infra bill does not go badly, this whole fucking market might explode. And not to 100K right away, but like, yeah, 50, 49, 53, fuck yeah. Let's get up into that short reload zone. Let's take it up there. Something like that. That's what I see. So infra bill comes, oh no, knee-jerk reaction, we're all gonna die. And then it's like, party delayed 1 month while we get that disbelief rally bounce or dump. Infra bill goes well, boner, and we're heading up to the short reload zone, and then we'll see what happens up there. That's my 2 cents. That's what I think we're gonna see. That's why I'm not really taking new positions like Cream today. It's very tempting. Very, very tempting, but I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to wait. I'm going to risk missing it. The other thing I could do is just buy a couple. Don't have to be right. If you buy like 3 creams, spend $400, $500, $600. Don't have to worry about it as much, but I don't know about all that. So I don't really like the meme coins, but Akita seems to be loading up right now. Okay, that's fair. I'm glad you pointed out that you don't really like these. I take you more seriously when it's almost like, so it's this little disclaimer. It's like, I know these are shit coins, but yeah, it does look like it's waking up. Damn. Yeah, I mean, okay, if you want to trade this, you better know what the hell Doge is doing. Let's go see Doge. What is Doge doing? Doge is not doing much yet. I mean, this pump was monstrous. I mean, like, and I had a buddy of mine who's been around since like 2014. Chillest guy ever, smart as hell. Not, he's like driving around the country in a van right now. Like, he's just living the dream. And he was like, just buy Doge, man. Like, all last year we'd talk. He's like, did you get your Doge yet? Did you load up on Doge? It pumps every cycle. Just get some Doge. I never did. All that to say, shout out to Shane. I hope he's well. And if you're watching, brother, I'm sorry. I should have listened. All that to say, this is a monstrous pump. I'm not convinced that it has bottomed yet. It has, we're not. First of all, we didn't see the deeper depression that some of the market saw. Is that an internal sign of strength, or just that there's just more like GME apes that are like, I'm never selling? But there's whales. I don't know. I'm not convinced by this one yet. But like I was with the entire dog rally, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe Akita, has some room to grow. It certainly did pump off the lows there. Who was that? What was that? Whales playing games, actual buying demand, signaling a further pump. Who knows? But if I was going to trade this, I'm getting the fuck out if we ever lost that low. And so because of that, I'd want to get into it as close as possible. Oh, it already tagged the reload zone. That's what you want, man. So there's your entry if you really want to get cheeky, at least waiting for this kind of thing. I mean, yeah, pump chaser zone, but we're not really in that market. And like I said, Doge is the reason all these dog coins were cool, and it's not doing much right now. So, if this thing gets lazy and starts like for the next couple weeks dripping into this, I could see myself being inclined to like just speculate on something like that. But this is probably the only way I would touch this thing. And then my risk is still pretty significant. 46% to that low. Like, ugh. But I mean, what was this pump? Probably like, God, 200% pump. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really fuck with these because, there's some coins like FTT, Solana, like ones I really believe in where it's like, oh no, I got stuck with the bag. Oh well, like it's a matter of time. I feel good about it. It's not going anywhere. It's not part of a meme season. I struggle to trade the memes, and because of that, I am not retired. Anyone who traded these well, they are, richer than me right now. So take that as you will. I'm not the best guy to be asking about the memes because I'm always going to be like, hum ha, conservative. David Barrett, I appreciate that you're learning so much, man. Did you guys know I was actually a teacher? Technically, I still am. I am on the board, but I'm on an unpaid leave because I'm having a baby, because crypto, because COVID. Like, moving on. New career path, trying it out, and I love it. I gotta say, it's gonna be really, really, really hard to see myself ever going back into a full-time classroom. But so if you're learning shit, man, that just makes my day because I wasn't teaching because I had to. Like, I loved it. But living in a basement, paying off debt for 10 years, that just didn't fit me. I was teaching mostly special education, like behavior classes. Give me the most angry, hard to deal with children and put them in a class with me and a child youth worker, and we would just, it was great. One of the fun things about teaching in that kind of class is that going out to play basketball is, it's allowed. It's like social skills building, a lot of social skills. Playing Uno, and get the kids together, be like, if you guys do your science today, we're going to play Uno for an hour. And you might be like, that's cool, that's chill, we're going to go play a game. But actually, you pick up 4 and the kid, bam, F you, fucking idiot, brr, throw a chair, and suddenly we have an incident. So like it was always something, but it was a good time. I still loved it. But I appreciate that, guys. Getting a lot of good love in the chat today. I am patient as fuck. I am patient as fuck, man. And I think, you know what? All things considered, I was like, played a lot of poker when I was in my 20s. So I had that gambling bug, a lot of sports betting, did some sports handicapping threads on SBR forums. And then put that together with like patience and psychology undergrad. Like I feel like it all kind of came together with crypto. And I did some theater in high school too. That's standing up, get in front of the crowd, do some improv. So get the, like speaking in front of people. So it's all really come together through literally this live stream. So I'm happy that you guys are enjoying it, man. That's the kind of shit that fires me up. All total war, Topher. That's how I deal with Messi. Yeah, I am patient with my friend Messi. Look. After the streams, like even yesterday, we were talking a lot, sharing charts. He's got some good ideas, and he's not an idiot. He's not like I was right. Like he knows he misplayed that. How do you think he feels? He's got really strong conviction, and he is, and this happens to me too. You get on the wrong side of a swing, right? This is swing trading. You're like, I'm going to get bullish, I'm going to get bearish, I'm going to get bullish, and if you get on the wrong side of that, right? If you're too bullish through here and you don't get out, it's really hard to be bullish here because you just got burned. And I think he'd be the first to admit that he's dealing with a bit of that. And so what I'm trying to do when I talk to him and when we do analysis, I'm not trying to change his mind. I'm just trying to help him maybe see, because one of the hardest things as a trader is recognizing when you are on the wrong side of the previous move and not to double down and be on the wrong side of the next move, right? I wasn't bearish enough here. I didn't take enough profit. So I'm going to fix that here by getting bearish and taking profit and shorting. And I've done that. I've done that on coins. I've done that on stocks. I've done that on cryptos. And thankfully this time didn't really get too stuck with that and had the wherewithal to recognize where we were at and see that, look, here's the bottom line. And I wish I said this on DeltaFi because I was thinking about it after. I was like, damn, all the back and forth we had about, opinions. It didn't really matter. But here's the bottom line. We're going to do it on a chart. Let's go to the Coinbase chart. I was mapping this out in my head the other day. I was like, this is what I should have said. So I'm going to say it now. Trading is not about knowing, right? It's not about knowing. You can't know. So it's about positioning yourself for possible outcomes. Now let's say, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's say it's not like a whiteboard. But let's say there's 4 possible outcomes. Okay? Let's say you are long and wrong. I guess that sounds fun. Or you are long and right. And you could be short and wrong. And wrong and right is such a, it's not a very good term because, or what was the other one I just did? Short and wrong. So if this is your 4 possibilities, let's say up here. No, let's say down here because this is where we were talking about it, right? So we're down here into this drippy low, and this is where me and Messi really started to heat up on stream because I was just like, dude, my point wasn't that he's wrong in the sense it can't go lower. I was like, fuck, I'm saving dry powder. I didn't even get half, I had half my shit in stables through this because I didn't know. But if I'm long here and I'm right, it's huge upside potential. If I am long here and I'm wrong, I am very close to invalidations. I can cut it. So I am wrong small. If I am short here and I'm right, and I even asked him, I was like, bro, what are you trying to buy 25? You're going to get short here? What is your upside? 5K, and your risk is infinite, right? So if you're short here and you're right, you're not getting a whole lot. Of course, well, maybe it'll go to 9K. Bro, it's not going to 9K. It's just, if it is, you shouldn't even be in crypto if you think that might happen, right? I mean, of course, anything can happen, but blah, blah, blah. But if you're short here and wrong, where's your invalidation? You're just getting rinsed. And then you're missing the whole friggin' long upside potential, right? And that was my point. At any one level, nobody knows what the fuck's going to happen. But trading is about putting yourself in a position to be right big and wrong small. And that's where I just, if you guys ever see me roll my eye on DeltaFi, roll my eyes, that's always why, because I'm just okay, maybe, but you're wrong big or right small. It's a bad trade. You're late to the trough. There's no food left. Okay, rant complete. And Daniel and I are good friends. It's all good banter, and there's a good chance that through this DeFi shit and loading up through here, he's probably gonna end up making more than me if we get a rip roaring bull because, I'm Mr. Level by Level, and he's like, I'm just gonna bag this up and 10x it. So it's all love, but this was it, right? Short and wrong. Damn it. Short and right. So, ask yourself when you're at swing pivots in the market, what do you want to call this? I should probably make this a thing and put it on TradingView as an idea. Maybe we'll do that. I'll put this in my idea section and have bullets and explain it. But it's essentially when you're in swing pivot potential areas, up here even, it just looked exhausted. And you sell, you might be wrong and it goes up, but your invalidation's here, you have a buy stop, you buy it back. So if you're long and wrong, it's a lot more painful there than if you're short and wrong, right? Up here, it was the opposite. Down here, the opposite. And so kind of running this analysis with yourself when you're at sort of pivotal areas. It's hard to know if it's a pivotal area too, but this to me was pretty pivotal. Once we broke those range lows, I was like, this is it. Either we're fucking going to hell for a little bit, or this is the exact bottom. And I almost longed it. I told you guys that I had that fucking thing. You know me, all my little reload zones. I was sitting here that day, and I actually had the bids in the fucking book. And I went to dinner. I chickened out, man. I'll admit it. I'm not even that butthurt about it, but it would have been a way cooler story if I actually could show that. Like, I mean, how long do I even hold it for? I probably would have been out by now, but it was this fucking load here. I was like, why not? Fuck it. Longed a few times here, got burnt. Why not one more? And I canceled it. I came back from dinner, and it was already up here, and I was like, well, I missed it, I guess. And then... So, put that in my journal. In general, I played this downswing, way better than I've ever played one before. And over a 10-year stretch, that's all I want. Get a little better each time. Market's not going anywhere. And if I get better and better, and I equity curves, that's the other thing, you guys just want to make your equity curve grow. You're going to have swings. You're going to have big upswings. You're going to have big downswings. But that higher low, make sure you have that higher low in your net worth, in your equity curve. And you do that by being wrong small and right big. So when you're right, pay yourself. Let the winner run, but pay yourself. And when you're wrong, get the fuck out. Lose as little as you can. I think that's all I got for that whole rant. Oh my God, it's 4:30. We are at an hour and a half. Short and right? There is no short and right. Ever. Yeah. Well, it depends, man. I'm telling you. This short was very right. And I chart all day, every day, and I draw things up all the time. So it's always the case where I'm like, oh, I was looking at it. Of course I was looking at it. It was 59K. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was also range highs, and it was also looking really lazy, and nobody was watching. And I was like, oh no. It was like I felt like friggin' Steve Carell in The Big Short. I was like, oh. But I also was just staring at DOT breakout to new highs on volume, and I was aping into that. So point is, you can be short and right. If you want to be a trader, absolutely you can be short and right. In fact, some of the best trades can go that way because nobody sees them coming and they move so fucking fast, and then you can scoop up your earnings and just be a G, and you're hitting new all-time highs as everyone else gets wrecked. But it's not like a cool person place to be. Certainly don't make a lot of friends on Twitter by being a bear. And then in the end, most people suck at being bears. So they don't turn bearish until down here, and then they end up getting burned and laughed at, and then they never want to be a bear again. And when the real bear market comes someday, somewhere, they miss it because they're just so sick of being wrong and made fun of. It's hard, man. It's hard. I short more than I tweet. Let's say that. But generally speaking, it's long and strong for me. But yeah, like I don't care to be popular on Twitter, like if I have something, but at the same time I just don't want to deal with it, right? Like, because when should you be shorting, if ever? And I agree, people say, well, like, the risk reward on shorting is terrible, and then generally speaking we're just going up. I agree with you, man. I agree. But if you're going to short, if you're going to play two ways, if you're going to hedge out, when should you be doing it? During euphoria. NFTs, right? Like, that's when to do it, and it's the worst time to talk to anybody about actually doing it. Just like down here was the best time to be long, and it was probably a tough time to convince anyone or talk to anyone. They're like, you're an idiot, we're in a bear market. So I mostly just don't have the energy for that shit, so I don't talk about it too much. I know it looks so obvious in retrospect, dude. It always does. It always does. The problem is, like, this looks so obvious in retrospect, but this setup happened. Let's look at that, because you're right. And my job right this minute is very easy. It's to show what happened. Well, what happened? Came up, touched the sweet spot perfectly. Oh, and then dumped to hell. What an easy trade, right? Except if you're looking for that trade, you are also looking for that trade back here. And how did that work out? Oh, yeah, I was right. Wrong. And you were probably looking for that trade back here because you're a trader and you always want to see both sides of the market, and you got roasted. And you were probably looking for that trade back here. Actually, this one worked out pretty well. There's a lot of these short reloads on down. I mean, if nothing else, we can see that if you're going to trade like this, this is the place to be shorting. Don't ever short after these dumps. Just don't do it. It's stupid. you know, but if you do that all the way up, you probably lost your lunch a few times, and we're so sick of it. So it does look easy in retrospect. And that's just like here, actually. This looks easy in retrospect, right? But trading the way I trade, actually the first trade, I was started off this little mini bear market doing really well. I was like, ooh, I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. I sold some, took some profits, but I thought I caught the bottom. So I kind of held it, you know, and then if you tried that here, didn't work so well. You got puked on. And if you try that here, didn't work so well. Well, actually it did here. And I actually did long this one. Check my Twitter. But yeah, we were long here, made some money, took some profits, and then it just ultimately, it was the 88.6 that saved the day right down here. But talk about waiting for it. My God, this was slow and annoying. And I actually did try to get some longs through here that got stopped out. And then, like I said, I missed the ultimate one, but it is what it is. But I managed to really build up a nice bit of spot exposure through this. So I feel really, you know, it's a win. You know, did better than I've ever did before on the dips. But this is like, that's the key nature to trading, which a lot of people don't understand, is that this is why you have to use risk management. You know, okay, I won here, I won here, I won here, I lost. But when you lose $1. And when you win, make at least 3. And if you can do that, then win, loss, you can be 50% and make money. And that's the sad reality of trading, is that you're going to be wrong a lot. And you have to be right. You have to be right big and wrong small. So a lot of rants today. Let's check out some charts, and then I'm going to go. Got my buddy coming in from out of town. I say that, and then I'm like here for another half hour. But let's do that. Let's go here. Let's check out FTM. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up because shit. Yeah, it's like everything else. It's already kind of moving. But through the dips, FTM was one through here that I missed. Sadly, too, because I was trying to futures long it on at around 2 cents back in October. I got stopped out, and then it was flat and boring, and I left it alone completely. And oh my God, was I butthurt when it went like that. But it is what it is. Am I in the wrong kind of black here? No. Why is it so? Feels like it's gray. I have dusty black here. Should be more black. Anyways, FTM looks great. It's coming into key resistance. I can't long it here. That's old ink. Let's go look at sort of the range that we're working with now. So that's sort of like upside ballpark. Just like when something goes up, I look for the reload zone on the way down. You can actually look for them on the way up too. Let's go check it out. Sort of where did it come down to? Basically the 88.6. So this is our playground for me for FTM for the next little while. I can expect there to be support in the reload zone, and I can expect there to be resistance up in the short reload zone. We can see resistance here, sort of the breakdown level, the ultimate breakdown level. So that's another way to look at this. And sometimes they line up and you say, oh, that's definitely a level now. Maybe that's your spot. I don't know. Let's see where the weekly closed. Yeah, weekly, a little higher up. Either way, depending on your time frame. But yeah, this looks good, right? This is everything you want to see. If you're thinking about like, is that a bottom? Well, you can never say for sure, but what you want to see is, you know, puke outs. You want to see the bears basically not show up, right? They showed up here. There's a lot of people willing to sell here. Arguably a bit of capitulation there. A lot of people willing to sell, but less running out of sellers, right? And if you're wondering what I mean, less what? Less volume, lower highs. So you're literally running out of people who want to sell their phantom. They're just not there anymore. They've sold it. If they wanted to, they're holding it. And that's literally like, okay, I said literally twice there. It's awkward. Now 3 times. Everyone have a drink. That is why markets do what they do. We're searching for buyers. We're searching for sellers. Well, we found some sellers up here. Then we found the panic sellers, and there was a lot of people left that were willing to sell their bag. They didn't have the conviction, and that's fine. Maybe they had a different plan, like stop losses, lose small, right? We just talked about that. Selling is not like, you're a loser. Like, sometimes you just got to sell because that's how you're making money. Point is, we ran out of sellers here. And you can see that because price had every reason to puke. And then right after we didn't really get much selling, the buyers stepped in. more buy volume than there was even on that sell. Then the buyers really woke up here. And so now the bulls are in control. And if you can spot that early, like they've been in control now for 2 weeks. If you can spot that early through here, you can be long for this breakout. On this daily candle today, I can't long this unless I'm like DCAing into a bag that I don't care for like 6 months, which I kind of want to for FTM, but you know, there's now a breakout level which we can hunt. We can hunt a retest on. This level seems to be working a lot. The candle body low on the epic dump has become this support, or well, support and then resistance and resistance, and now we're breaking out. So 25 cents, maybe 25 and a half. That might be a level to keep an eye on. Something like that. And depending how high we go, we have to wait for this move to end before we can say there's a pump chaser zone if I want to chase the pump. You know, maybe we rally all the way up to these highs. And then the pump chaser zone, ooh, look at that. It is the same level. So I like that. So I'm adding Phantom to my short list too, because yeah, I like this one. It's kind of like a super fast DAG project. It's doing DeFi, all that stuff. I think they're going to be around, and I'd like to have a bag. Sucks that it just broke out today. I've got enough breakout bags right now. I think I'm going to have to wait for a little retest. Famous last words. How do you deal with consecutive losses where nothing seems to be going your way? Man, that is a great question. In fact, and this, I'm going to use a golf analogy. I have a buddy who's quite good at golf, given that he only just started a year and a half ago. But one thing he absolutely sucks at, and I was golfing with him the other day. Greg, if you're watching, stop it. He was having a shit day the other day, and he wouldn't shut up about it. He's like, I can't fucking... And he was tantruming off to the side after every bad shot. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm trying to putt here. Like, shut up. But the thing, all that to say, the thing that he struggles with, and it is a very important skill in trading as in golf, is to be able to reset after a bad one, right? You have a bad shot, doesn't matter. Like, it shouldn't affect your next shot. Your next shot is an entirely isolated thing. And in trading, it's very much the same. But if you get into a bad streak, so much of trading is really about self-reflection. And that's why I talk about trade journals all the time. You know, get a trade journal, get a Word document, start writing into it each day. You know, write down one thing you learned, write down, take a picture of a chart and put it there, and maybe even write on the chart what you learned. And over time, it's cumulative, and that's the hard work, right? It's not sexy, it's not fun, but that's the work. And over time, you start to spot things like, oh my God, I'm in a rut, I'm losing trades. And how to pull yourself away. And I know some really good traders who have spotted themselves. BTC Jack Sparrow is a buddy of mine, and he can spot that in himself. And he's told me, he's like, yeah, I'm not trading this week because I suck right now, and I'm pissed at myself, or I made some mistakes, and he'll just pull away. You know, he's sitting in cash, no big deal. And then he returns with a fresh setup. You know, go out, do something. The other thing that's nice in trading is, if you're doing it well over time, you're compounding your account. Usually you can afford to take a week off. You just never want to because the market's always moving. But, you know, treat yourself to a week off. You come back. And I have had some ruts where you're just like in a shitty mood. I'm not working out, which is a big part of me doing well. I actually slept in through my personal trainer today. It's a whole other story. Woke up at 7. He was there at 5:15 banging on my door. I didn't wake up. Point is, if you're in a shitty spot, you have to reset, period. You know, revenge trading, chasing, and I hate it. You see people all the time like, oh, if this happens, I'll make it back. It's like, bro, it's gone. You're not making it back. That's a separate thing. You know, it's like in golf. You know, you're no mulligans, bro. No mulligans. You're not chasing strokes back. That money is gone. You treat it like a new trade, because as soon as you start thinking, like even everyone from their portfolio all-time highs, it's like, ooh, I have to make it back. I just hit mine, but that wasn't the goal. It wasn't like, oh, I want to be there. I was there already, man. Like, and I didn't sell out then. I'm not selling out next time. It's irrelevant. So you've got to be able to reset, and more importantly, you have to recognize when you need to reset. So I hope that helps answer your question. So how do I deal? Going back to the question, how do I deal with consecutive losses? I unplug. Sometimes I'll play video games, go play around at golf, Go out for a walk, go out for a run, try to work out. It's hard to do that when you're kind of depressed and shit, but it's the best thing for it. And the nice thing is, and you'll learn this, sometimes you just have to learn this the hard way, but I've not walked away before, and then you get like roasted and you lose like 3,200 on a trade, or like, you know, futures gets blown out at 3,200 is so relative, right? If you're a millionaire, that's nothing. But if you're like, you know, I was at the time trading like a small 5-figure accounts, like it was a mid 5-figure account, like it was a blast. It stung, and I was like, fuck, I could have taken the day off. And then you start thinking like, what could I spend 3,200 on? Like trip to Mexico, pay off the car loan a little bit, take the lady out for a nice dinner, and save, you know, $1,000. Like you could do so much with that. So once you've burned yourself a few times doing that when you knew you should have been taking time off, then suddenly it feels like you're getting paid to take time off. Because not only are you not making money when you're in a shitty mindset for trading, but you're losing money. So it's kind of a double loss. So I've been through that a few times, and chances are, as a new trader, if that's what you are, you're going to have to go through that too. So that's why we say lose small, win big, so that when you do go through that, it's minimal damage. All right, that's my rant on that. Do you trade mostly perps or spot? Spot, 100% spot. I don't have a hugely, you know, big track record with futures trading. I like it because you settle in USD right away, and you like to sit there and you'd be like, oh, like my spot positions are up bigly this week, but it's not the same excitement as if I had a futures position that was up that big, because I could cash it right away and it's sitting in stables and it's like, ooh, look at that, locked it in. But I much prefer spot trading, and I much prefer swing trading. This is a swing trade, right? This is a swing. You're catching an entire swing in the market. We had a downswing. I am now trying to trade the upswing, not actually trading FTM, but most of the alts look like this, whereas USD. And so in 8 weeks, we may be up here, we may be up here. My trade is done. I might have some bags. My sandbasket's probably, you know, mostly intact after that. But any trades I'm loading up through this level, like they're swing trades, and I'm getting the fuck out here. Settling back to USDC, settling back to Bitcoin, maybe some Ethereum. And, you know, and then ETH and BTC are probably up in the zone, and maybe I'm settling those a bit. Like, and that swing's done. And then can I catch a reload zone off that move? And are we just in a consolidating market before the rip-roaring bull? Right? That's my plan. That's how I trade it. So yeah, spot and swing. Swing trading, spot trader. That's kind of what I like to do. If I do go on futures, it's usually pretty scalpy, short term, high, mid to high leverage, 10 and 20x. But mostly lately, I'm just using my futures account to hedge. For example, well, I already showed you guys that this morning. God, this morning, an hour ago. Okay, last thing on that topic. You know, this was a really good example of what I use futures for. Losing money. Up against range highs, you know, in the short reload zone, and then zooming in, there was another little tiny wick into a short reload zone, and I shorted that a certain number of Bitcoin to cover all my different holdings. So if we go down, I'm basically delta neutral or close to it. I think I was still probably profitable if we just broke up. I wasn't fully hedged, but that's it. Because if you're up at the highs and you're getting nervous and you're like, oh no, I want to capture these gains, but I don't want to sell all my little bags on Uniswap and all these different places and move shit from Blockfolio and bring it in from, you know, if you don't want to do all that, it's stupid, because then what? You're going to redisperse it into all that? It's a lot of work. You'll probably fuck it up. And so instead of doing that, you just strap on a short position. And if you position it well up against the highs with tight risk, then you lose small, but potentially win big on that short position. And then you didn't have to sell all of those positions, and you didn't really lose that much money while maybe the market rolls over. So that's how I use futures, and that's, I think, you know, what they're kind of designed for. Derivatives are really about products for risk protection. Believe it or not, options and derivatives, and so that's how I use them mostly. I much prefer just loading up through reload zones on alt spot and then just selling them when they go nuts, which is what I'm doing. And this, at this point, this is me, like this is them going nuts to me. You know, I don't know that we get, well, God, everybody have a drink. I just did it again. You know, I'd like to think that this is what we're doing here. And we very well could, but yeah, like that's your short reload zone, and that's me paying myself. And that's probably the reload zone, right, or the pump chaser zone. But, and then, you know, the reason I pay myself here is because, like, yeah, if we go in a rip-roaring bull, I can, you know, there's probably another setup. But chances are we consolidate a little after this kind of thing. And the cool part is paying yourself here allows you to then, like, load up that little disbelief dip, and then we really fly. That's what I hope. But that's so far ahead. But anyways, I'm just kind of rambling now. I hope you guys are enjoying this. At this point, I'm like, should I cut the stream? I think my buddy's upstairs from out of town. I should probably go see him. If you're looking for the next Axie, look at YGG, Yield Guild Games. They are integrated with Axie. It's a pay-for-play. You can do it for many games, not just one game. Oh, that's cool. So it integrates with different games. I think I heard about that launch. It was a very hyped launch recently, wasn't it? And apparently it was a bit of a gong show. I heard about it, and then I never really followed up on it. Curious what that IDO price was. I feel like it was probably well below $2.30. Typically, like, you know, I can't. Don't have a drink. Fuck, you guys are gonna be wasted at the end of this stream if you're drinking on every time I do that with the drawing tool. Typically, I don't trade these brand new charts unless I have a real good lean on, you know, what the IDO price was, maybe even was in it, like all those things. Typically on a new project, what you get is this Gartner hype cycle where it does really go, but then it washes out, and then we find out what it's worth, and then we go. So for new coins like this, but that sounds pretty dope, man. I mean, you know, are we flagging here? Can I get a little breakout trade? There might be something there, but I'm a little nervous when I see brand new charts. It's like all of what I do is kind of to the wind. I'm just basically guessing that people will value it higher than it is. I don't have a setup. I don't see, you know, an accumulation bottom. I don't get to see the big buys soaking up huge bags, protecting their positions. Like, I don't get any of that. So I get a little nervous around these. But if it's a dope product, really cool plan, and it's integrating with Axie and can integrate with other games, and it's like 50 mil or 100 mil market cap, yeah. For other reasons, I could probably get a trade there. 2-year lockup. Okay, not bad. Uh-oh. All Total War said something that was deleted by the Google moderator team. Who the hell is that? And what are they doing in our chat? EchoFi, Quant. Yeah, let's go look at Quant. Somebody asked about that in the Discord too. So I'm going to do a little Quant take here, and then we are getting closer to the end than the beginning here. Is it QNT? Yeah. This thing's been going nuts. You know, naturally I just stay away from this stuff, but that's the daily. God, have a drink. Did it again. Sorry, guys. It's Friday night, though. Enjoy it. Oh, okay. Let's go here, because I feel like Quant has quite a bit of history. Oh, GNT. That's a throwback. You guys remember that? Decentralized Computing, 2017. It's probably still around. Quanta. Oh my god. We are definitely near the end here, guys. Quant. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to buy this. I don't care what it does. It just looks like a great place for anyone here to pay themselves, even though that's something I would have said about Bitcoin at $100 if it used to be $3 too. But as a rule, as a trader, that's it. So let's just preface everything I'm about to say with that. Well out of my zones. But look, it's a trend. It's uptrending. Trend is your friend. If you've taken maybe your initial investment back, then you're risk free. Like, fuck yeah, man. Let your winners run, right? Win big. However, when it reverses, don't get married to it. We didn't really see too many, you know, fake outs along the way. A little fail here, a little fail here. Big volume into these highs. I'd be very curious to know what they're doing. Quantum resistant is my guess. This is big volume though, man. You know, like, did they just announce something? You know, what's the market cap? I'd have to do a lot of research. But at a glance, pure Mr. TA, I'm not touching that shit. But I'm sure you can make a compelling case for buying it. My question is, you know, why buy it here? There's a throwback here. There's a stilt here. I'll bet you a box of donuts that gets filled in. It's just a matter of how high it goes first. So, well, maybe at $100 I'm a buyer, depending on how that top looks. If the top looks really toppy, I'll probably get it cheaper. But almost guaranteed that this stilt gets filled in. I have a fucking fib on my finger. Okay, guys. Stuck. Let's bring it back here, guys. It is Friday afternoon. I hope you guys have been doing well in general. Get into the Discord if you haven't already. Come hit me up in there. I'm in there most days, checking the chat, just hanging out, sharing charts and ideas. And the best part is there's a lot of really good traders in there. I am not special. I'm just a guy, dude. So get in there. It's a pretty friendly crowd. We got some really good moderators that keep it clean. And I'm seeing a few other mentions in here. Bring them into the Discord. Once you're up to a certain level. Extra stream. Do you have a Series 7? What kind of fundamentals do you keep when you're doing a review? Caleb just popped in 4 minutes ago. Sorry, dude. We're just wrapping up, but I am live every Friday. Soon to be Tuesdays, maybe Mondays, Thursdays. I'm gonna throw in another stream anyways, sometime during the week. So hit up YouTube, subscribe, like if you can today, and then hit the bell so that when I pop in live randomly, Shitcoin Church style, it'll let you know, and hopefully you'll be around and you can come hang out. So there's a ton of good coins out there, guys. Sorry I didn't get to all of them, but that's it. I gotta run. I'm losing my voice here. Gonna go out and maybe buy some beer. I don't know. I don't have any beer. Kind of want to drink a beer. Whatever you do between now and then, guys, keep an eye on that infrastructure bill. It's going to be a knee-jerk reaction either way. When it passes, it's just too much eyeballs right now. So if it passes positive, expect continued rallies. If it passes negative, expect a knee-jerk shakeout at the very least. But just remember that it's years away from taking action, and many, many appeals will take place between now and then, not to mention having to get through the House. So don't worry, too deeply. Crypto is here. But as traders, can we trade that volatility? Can I look for throwbacks to get longer? Yup. And that's what I'll be doing this weekend. So from now until next time, guys, whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Thanks for coming out today.